Hello and welcome back to
the Zak
and Buzz
Review. Dun, 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 dun. Yes,
Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 2, Where the Stars Are Strange.
Yes, we're back at it again.
Yes.
It's our review number 2.
Of the season.
Yes, and yeah, it was alright.
Another cracking episode.
Another cracking episode.
Huzzah.
It moved the story along. I didn't think it was as engaging as the first one.
Okay. Well, I mean,
but it was still good.
To be fair, this was very much one of those ones where nothing particularly striking happened, but the story progressed enough to warrant you continuing with the season.
It's kind of like putting pigs in holes just to start.
Because that's kind of what I like about the Rings of Power. There's a lot going on in this season. There's lots of different sides to the story.
Lots of characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
where should we start?
Where should we start? Okay, let's start with the fact that obviously Sauron has now left Mordor, so he's on his way to see Celebrimbor, isn't it?
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
You got to get these. You got to get these names right.
I can never.
You got to call it the Elf Ring Man, dude. The Elf.
You know me and
the
names.
Elf Blacksmith Man.
You know me and names.
The guy who I shoe-shined in the series, The Halcyon.
You did. Talking about the fact that you shoe-shined his shoes in The Halcyon, this episode, I made my debut in.
He did!
Yes, I was in there.
You're a dwarf!
I'm a dwarf.
He's
in the mines of Moria!
In Khazad-dûm.
Khazad-dûm, exactly. Will I appear more? We shall see.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Signed photos are available.
Exactly. So yes, I am actually here. I am a dwarf from the mines of Moria.
Yes, a certified cast member. Of the Rings of Power.
And
excellent.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, I wasn't expecting it. I thought I was coming up maybe in episode 4, and then suddenly you went, "It's you, Buzz."
Well, that's always the way with productions of things. So maybe talking about you being a dwarf.
Yep.
The whole point of that particular scene was a darkness has fallen over Khazad-dûm.
The light, what do they call them?
They call them like light shafts.
Have collapsed and cut all the light off from Khazad-dûm, which means that all the crops that are grown down in Khazad-dûm are all rotting, basically. So they've got to
start rotting anyway.
So they've got a big problem. I think we at one point we had the prince and his wife, and they were eating last year's bread or something, weren't they?
Yes.
So so they got a lot of issues going on.
Yeah.
In that front,
because the stone singers couldn't figure out where they could dig safely to solve their problems.
So they're having to do that manually, and the prince has had to go and start doing that, and he's actually having punch-ups with the rest of the dwarves, the dwarf miners.
And he's also having his issues with his dad. Durin. King Durin. Got to say these words in...
I know, they're all Scottish. They're Scottish dwarves.
Aye.
When we were on set, we all had to speak with a Scottish accent.
Aye.
So anyway, so that kind of leaves that in limbo at the moment, doesn't it? And then, obviously, Sauron turfs up at...
you mean Halbrand?
Halbrand, well, he's pretending to be Halbrand.
Yes.
He turfs up there. Now, Celebrimbor,
yeah.
Yeah. He has already been told not to treat with Halbrand, not to trust him.
By Galadriel.
But doesn't know that he's actually Sauron.
At which point, we have now by this point known that Galadriel has sent
a message saying,
Halbrand, Sauron, don't do anything with him, he's naughty.
That's right, and we mentioned this in the last review because we went, what's happened to that note? Did he get it? Didn't he get it?
Yeah.
And we find out he didn't get it because some things have intercepted the couriers and dragged them off in chains. I believe they're dead. They look rather dead. And there's the little scroll carrying thing is crushed.
Crushed, yes.
So that's the end of that. So he doesn't find out that he is Sauron at all.
No.
But we'll come back to that. Oh yes, we had the Stranger.
The Stranger stuff with Poppy and Nori.
Yes.
In the lands of Rhûn.
That's it. But we got introduced to
a new character.
And the
character was a guy played by Kieran Hines.
And he's kind of this dark wizard.
Now, I don't know the mythology of what they actually have. I think this is going to be one of the original characters.
Yeah, it's been many, many years since I read the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
And I can't...
Or at least tried to.
I can't pull it out of my mind, this character.
That's the thing, they've only got rights to 150 pages.
I think they can... saying that, we'll get to that when we get back to Halbrand, all right? I'm going to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Anyway, so they are trying to get their way shortcut. They have to take a shortcut because these wizard people's servants, who are obviously afflicted by something that they want curing, could be, I don't know, Game of Thrones wise, it would be like grayscale or something like that. But they are being pursued by these people across the deserts of Rune, and they're looking for water, and it's all very horrible. Yeah, the wizard brought back one of his acolytes.
Yes, which was from season 1. Yeah. Who got turned into moths at the end by the stranger, who is obviously Gandalf.
Yes. Now that's an interesting thing because did you pick up on the fact that I think it was Poppy said about they needed to find a Gand.
A Gand?
Yes, he's looking for a staff, isn't he? He's had this dream about a staff, and a word for a staff is a Gand.
Well, that's the thing.
And we talk about his name.
Yeah.
So that was.
Everyone has a name, whether they know it or not.
So I think that's where they're getting his name from. Is the fact that when he finds his Gand, he becomes Gandalf.
Yeah.
You see, because that's
I didn't pick up on that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was hidden in there.
But they think they find
at the
staff
at the well.
At the well,
because he says it looks kind of
like it. The one from his dreams.
Although the one in his dreams did look like that, but then changes.
Yeah, into more traditional Gandalf.
But that one was kind of more like just a shepherd's crook.
Yeah.
If you know what a shepherd's crook is, and so he does. Then, of course, they get met. They get tracked.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh no, it's the bell.
It's the bell. So I don't know if that was like a trap.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a trap because I did try and think. Why would you have a bell on a well? A bell well? A well bell. Anyway, the well had a bell at the end.
Yes.
Was that a bell end bell? I don't know.
Don't say so. Don't say
so. Anyway, but they accidentally let go of it and it was going doing, 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 doing. And this has obviously attracted the wizard's henchmen.
Yeah.
Okay, I was called the wizard's acolytes, the other wizardy people. These ones are
the masky people.
The masky henchmen. And of course then, not Gandalf.
Yes, not yet Gandalf.
Because he hasn't got his Gand. Uses this temporary Gand.
Tornado!
That's it. And we suddenly
oh no, I can't stop the tornado!
Thrust into a kind of a moment from the film Twister. And unfortunately, Poppy and...
it sorts out the bad guys.
But it also has, but Poppy and Nori have...
I feel
they've ended up in Oz.
I feel as if in a future episode, this is where this Tom Bombadil characters might potentially step in. I reckon.
Possibly.
He might have saved them. I don't know. That's just speculation.
But otherwise, they're in Oz and wearing ruby slippers at the moment. So
I'm intrigued by this dark wizard character. He had a pretty kick-ass staff. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, he looked good, and the actor always does a good
Kieran
job.
Hines. He's got such a distinctive voice.
And he plays villains well. So.
Well, he also plays heroes like Aberforth Dumbledore pretty well as well.
Oh yes.
You're Aberforth. Dumbledore's brother.
Your
connection
your
there.
Your elder self.
Yes, my elder self, because I did portray Aberforth Dumbledore.
Teenager Aberforth Dumbledore.
In Fantastic Beasts.
Yes.
Boom.
Nori and Poppy have gone off.
Yep.
And we're left sort of a cliffhanger there. And so when they're back to Halbrand.
And Celebrimbor.
Who's been waiting for ages because Celebrimbor won't... speak to him, and eventually he sort of gives up the ghost and goes down to speak to him and tell him to, will you leave
Shove
now?
Off. And it's kind of revealed that he's kind of injured and things, and he kind of takes pity on him a bit, which is all part of the plan.
Because let's face it, Sauron is the great deceiver, and he is just playing a game at this moment. Everything that Sauron is doing is just, he's probably laughing inside at everything he's doing.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And so he ends up going in there. And then we get the big kind of transmogrification.
Well, that's the thing, because if obviously they meet Galadriel and stuff in the future, it would be very clear that Halbrand is obviously Sauron. They know that now. Yep. Whereas in this new persona of Annatar...
Well, that's it. Actually, you see, before he turns into that, he suggests... that they should make 9 rings for men, and the 7 rings for the dwarves, and of course Celebrimbor was going, I'm not having nothing to do with that.
No,
they
men are too corruptible.
It's too corruptible. But he thinks, right, how can I push this? So then he does his transformation.
I'm a messenger.
Yes. He kind of... I believe from the Silmarillion that he's kind of now portraying one of what's known as the Valar. Is kind of one of the ancient
the Maya
ones.
Or something.
He's one of the ancient ones that had that fought against Morgoth, and so he's now. And that's where I was going about the thing about the production company only having access to a certain amount.
Yeah.
Because the name Anatar, is it?
Anatar.
Double N. I think that only features in the appendices of the Silmarillion. Might be in other appendices. I'm not sure. But I think what they've been doing is approaching the Tolkien estate and saying, "Can we use this?"
Like on a case-by-case basis?
On a case-by-case basis.
Wow.
And I think that's what they've been doing, and that's allowing them to do that, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to use the name.
Exactly.
So,
I think a lot, so far with this season, I think a lot more care has actually been put into it.
Yeah.
As opposed to the first season. Like, I noticed like the armour and things looks a lot more detailed.
Yeah, it's not just, I say, it's not just the detail to the story, but it's the sound, the music, the presentation. Yeah. I mean, I know people not the first series. I actually felt that they kept the same kind of look of the elf, the buildings and everything. So it kind of felt Peter Jackson-y.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It's got the music. The
and
musical
now
notes
they've added in the music,
which is great.
Which is the old, the Song of Mordor or whatever, the Nine Rings.
Slightly adapted, yeah.
Slightly adapted, but it's there. And it sits really beautiful with it, and they have really ramped up the look. So yeah, and so that's where it ends.
Yeah,
it ends with Anatar. It was quite a good thing. Although he does seem to have quite a big forehead.
I mean, it's the same guy. He's obviously wearing a
wig. I know it's the same guy. He's kind of what now we're going to have that kind of Clark Kent Superman scenario.
Oh, they're going to recognise him.
With Galadriel, because I mean, surely Galadriel could walk through and go, "Has he put a pair of elf ears on?" It's like,
anyway,
I'll take my glasses off. It's Superman.
Let's give this a rating out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. So I must admit. The first Messerschmitt. I must admit the first episode, I think I rated that as a 9, the first episode, because it actually did really kick. I really enjoyed it. It's a brilliant start to the second series. It really took everything up. This one, it was good, but I'm going to come in with a 7.
7?
7. It was still good, but it was kind of...
I'm going to go with... I'm going to agree with you. 7.
7.
It may seem a bit harsh because I'm really liking it, but I do think it's got the legs to significantly improve.
Yeah, so the thing is, I don't want to rate this one too high because I think there's better things to come.
Yeah, I see that.
Because again, at the end of each episode, we get that kind of look to what's happening in what's coming up, and then you go, "This is looking good." So there you go. That's our review of episode 2.
Wow. After that, do you feel parched? I feel parched.
I feel parched.
If you want to support us, please buy us a coffee. It means so much. It's only a small little ask, and if you want to support us, it would be great.
And I would like to take the opportunity to thank all of you that have already bought us coffees. You are absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, see you in the next one, yeah?
If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of further reviews you'd like to see.
See you next one for episode 3.